Such a good boy when I was 18, but I smoked alcohol and drank weed, and now my brain turned into baked beans. Don't be like me, kids, I'm fried.
We are starting our podcast with breaking news. Let's go. We are recording this on
Somewhat breaking
Wednesday.
news. I just found out about it. Some of this news seems like it broke a few hours ago from where we are at right now. And I just found out because one of my friends texted me. So apparently the Buffalo Bills are currently going through a cap cutting frenzy. And some of
Saw
the
this too.
names of the players they just released include Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, and Mitch Morse, who are all starters and or Pro Bowlers for the Buffalo Bills last year.
I think they cut both of their starting safeties as well. I want to say Micah Hyde, but I'm not sure. That might be. Is that a Cowboy?
Poyer was definitely one of them. Mitch Morse, I'm pretty sure, was their starting center. And Tre'Davious White is like a Pro Bowl corner.
So here's what I'm going to tell you about Tre'Davious White. Being very familiar with somebody who's a Bills fan, I'm actually close to two Bills fans. Tre'Davious White is a great guy. He's got David Wright syndrome. Everybody wants to get behind him, but he can't stay on the field. He's been injured.
Yeah, that's true.
He's had knee injuries for like 3 years now. So I can understand cutting Tre'Davious White, both safeties. Maybe that's to get weapons for Josh Allen. I'm not sure. Maybe that means that Stephon Diggs isn't going to be around anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely does seem like there's been quite a bit of animosity growing between Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen and the rest of the Bills, I guess, franchise the last couple of years. So it seems like he's been somewhat frustrated, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really buy into the animosity too much because we only ever really hear about it when the Bills are eliminated or when they've lost. And that's just how all wide receivers are. All wide receivers are either not good or if they are good, they have that diva in them. You know what I'm saying? I have to stir up trouble somehow. I don't know. It just comes with the position.
Yeah, that's true. And it does really seem like, everything's good when the Bills are playing well. Stephon Diggs is getting his catch. But when they're in the playoffs and they're losing, all you see is him on the sidelines just looking mad.
Yep. Yeah. And then you had those like 30-second videos of him in the touchdown zone watching the Chiefs celebrating and
Just standing on like the empty field, just looking out.
He probably thinks he looks stoic.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He looks like a crybaby. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm a big Stephon Diggs fan because of fantasy football, but yeah, stuff like that is just kind of like somebody's got to lose, unfortunately, and it's like it sucks that they've been losing in the playoffs in like somewhat heartbreaking fashion every single year.
I just feel like they've just gotten beaten by better teams. It's just Patrick Mahomes. You can't beat him.
Oh yeah, I mean they did take it to overtime a couple years ago, so it's like.
And he has been beaten before, so I'm not saying it's impossible, but the Bills certainly haven't cracked the code into finding it yet. And maybe that's, they went all in on their defense. They had an elite defense all year this year, and they just one injury after another kept piling up, and it didn't work against the Chiefs anyway. So maybe now the philosophy is let's go all in on our offense.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's try to get bigger weapons.
Yeah, who knows?
I hear your Rangers are also making a lot of moves in the trade wire. You guys traded with the Kraken?
Well, yeah, there's been one move so far. I mean, that was really it about football. So obviously, as we are recording right now on Wednesday, we have less than 48 hours to go until the trade deadline, which is set for Friday, March 8th at 3 p.m. We've been talking a lot about it and some wish lists and things like that. And yes, the Rangers did make one move as of today. And I don't really know what to think about it, I guess just because I don't know enough about the player. But they did trade with the Seattle Kraken to acquire center Alex Wenberg from Seattle. And I guess a lot of people seem pretty happy with this, like looking at some of the numbers and stuff like that. He does seem like, I guess they were looking for like a third line, center type of guy. They say he's a good two-way player, plays very good defense, but like isn't an overly good like face-off type of guy. He's a 46% face-off player in his career, which is decent, but not anything crazy. But again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I've heard his name before, but I don't really know anything about him. So maybe this move is better than I'm thinking it is right now. It is really all I can say about it.
I know it didn't really fill in any of the goals that you had. You said you wanted some wing depth. And
Yeah, they do still need a winger. There are still some rumors floating around. It's starting to seem unlikely that Frank Vetrano is going to be the guy. But
I just want to interrupt real quick. And you were bringing up Frank Petrano. Also, you were texting me earlier this week about something that should be heinous to any Devils fans' ears, but that the Ducks might be interested in trading Henrique, and he seems like a really good fit for you guys. I would like to thankfully say,
yeah, that's not going to happen.
Into a Canadian team.
He went to the Oilers.
The Oilers, that was it. And it was one of the ones up north.
Yeah, it was a very big and complex looking, like 3-team trade with a lot of moving parts, but I'm pretty sure he ended up going to the Oilers.
Fair enough. But I at least am very happy that he's not going to you guys. That would have been a huge bummer. You would have broke my kid's hearts. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. It's already updated on Google that he is a hockey player for the Edmonton Oilers, so I was correct.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. I knew it was one of those ones up north. It wasn't the Maple Leafs. It wasn't the Canadians. One of the ones out west nobody cares about.
Yeah, one of those Western Conference ones.
But yeah. But no, I mean, there's plenty of time left. Like you said, as we're recording this and everything like that, we got 2 days left. So hopefully there's still going to be some of the guys that you want out there.
Obviously, I'm the one, and along with a lot of other Rangers fans, I'm sure we're hoping they could try and get Vetrano back, considering when they had him a couple years ago, they traded for him in 2022. He played 22 games with the Rangers, had 8 goals and 5 points, or 5 assists, 13 points, and a +6 playing on that first line. But I saw some articles before looking like it's a little bit getting more unlikely that they would trade for him. But there's another name that has popped up that I've seen that the Rangers have shown like extreme amounts of interest in, which is, again, to me, great player, would be a gamble though, because you don't know how well he's going to fit with Kreider and Zibanejad. And that is Jake Gensel from the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I've heard of his name before.
He's a great player and everything, but it's just, again, the thing of how is he going to fit with, Kreider and Zibanejad? You don't know. Jake Gensel this year, 50 games played for the Penguins, 22 goals, 30 assists.
Hockey is not a game where you can just kind of hope that skill overtakes chemistry and it's just, well, they're good enough. You know what I'm saying? Now you need that chemistry.
Now, that's not to say, obviously, if they trade for him now, they still got 20 games to go in the regular season. There's plenty of chemistry to build and click before the playoffs. But it's just something like if they get him and it doesn't work out, then it's kind of, all for naught. And they're probably going to have to give up quite a bit to get somebody like Gensel.
Well, I mean, we shall see. We got 2 days left, right? As you were saying before. Nothing to report on the Devils front. Our GM is saying all the words that he's supposed to be saying. Yes, I know that goalkeeping is a problem for us, but we also need to weigh the future, and we don't know if we want to give up pieces for now. Very frustrating stuff. Basically, just everything that he needs to say without giving a direct answer. Although, I guess the biggest news that's happened since we last recorded is the firing of Lindy Ruff, which came out of nowhere for anybody who I guess really hasn't been paying attention for the last 2 weeks. We had a really bad, 10 days since we've been last recording.
Something like that, yeah.
It's been brutal, man. We completely gave up against a lot of teams that we needed to overtake. We lost against the Flyers. We lost against the Lightning. We just completely we no-showed Then there was that whole snafu against the Kings where we pulled our goalie to get an extra attacker and then did not send out a six guy.
Oh no.
Lindy Ruff checked out completely and knew that he was fired already. So when you do that kind of stuff, there's no turning back from it. But honestly, I can't even really be that upset. I think that's what Fitzgerald needed to do in order to keep Devils fans watching. Honestly, we're not going to watch if all of our guys are completely 100% checked out like we've been playing for the past 5 games. The coach is so bad that he couldn't even fucking put in a sixth guy. Jack Hughes was screaming on the line, we only have 5 guys. Oh, dude, it was so bad. And they ended up scoring all of it too. But yeah, man. At least now I can go in and watch games and no expectations. If we make the playoffs, that's great. If we don't make the playoffs, it's because we didn't have a head coach. I know there's a lot of Devils fans that are complaining about who we made the interim. He was like one of the worst head coaches in Vancouver Canucks history. He's an interim head coach, and we have 20 games left. So if Fitzgerald's not going to keep him, these are meaningless games to us at this point.
Yeah, and I remember hearing about that, and then I watched the Rangers game not too long after that news broke, and I heard Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti, the Rangers announcers, talking about it because Lindy Ruff, obviously a former New York Rangers assistant, been around hockey a long time. They were and they felt for him because, like, yes, the Devils have had a terrible season, and he got fired and whatever, but at the same time, it's kind of like, how much more was he supposed to do? You had no goaltending. Like, your goaltenders have been completely inconsistent all year. Your defensive core is so young and not playing well.
Here's my rebuttal to that. We brought in a lot of good young goaltending talent, and while nobody's had any big, I could tell you 5 of them, and you'd be like, who? But like that's kind of the point. You know what I'm saying? We're not developing any of these guys into anything that's not mediocre at best or inconsistent at best. And it's the goaltending that's been a problem for the past couple of years. It's the fact that Alexander Holtz has been kind of rotting on the 4th line, just not doing anything. Like, get that guy up more. I don't understand why we're not playing our dude that just came here. He had his time overseas and everything like that. He's here now. We're trying to win games. He's young. He wants to do it. Why are we sticking him on the 4th line with the nobodies? Our other lines could be using this help too, but no, I don't know why. Maybe he said something wrong to Lindy Ruff. Maybe he bucked his wife or something. I don't know, but maybe we'll see a lot more Alexander Holtz now. So that's exciting to look forward to, and maybe we'll get a good young goaltender.
We'll see what moves they make. Rangers, I think, definitely have to do something else. They need to get that winger for that first line, especially considering what I saw earlier, in that the Florida Panthers, who currently have the best record in the league, as we're talking tonight, just beat the Rangers on what was a pretty tough game recently. Just acquired some more firepower in Vladimir Tarasenko.
Yeah.
So the Florida Panthers, who are already a very dangerous team, just added some extra firepower to their top 6.
And they're going to be crazy come playoff time.
Yeah, so I think if the Rangers are really looking to compete, it's and want this Eastern Conference to come down to them and the Panthers, which I think it could, they're going to need to make one other splash. And if it is Jake Gensel, I pray to God that it does work out, because he's a great player, and if he clicks with Kreider and Zibanejad, that I think will give the Rangers the juice they need to compete against the Panthers. I'm not going to say right now, meet them in the Eastern Conference Finals and beat them, but make a run towards the conference finals and compete in the Eastern Conference with the best of them, like the Panthers and also potentially the Bruins too, obviously.
Yeah, and we can only hope against that. I hate when the Bruins do good. I don't even know why. I just hate them. I hate all Boston teams, honestly. Florida's going to be a really cool team to beat. It's going to be interesting to see if they can replicate last year's run. I mean, if the Devils aren't going to be competitive, if we're not going to be in the playoffs, I got to have a team to root for. So hey, why not? They were fun last year.
And dude, they're a dangerous team this year. I mean, as constructed before getting Tarasenko, they very easily could have been, predicted as the team to come out of the East. But adding a guy like Tarasenko, who was another potential name that I would have liked for the Rangers. He played well for them when they traded for him. I believe it was last year. But he goes to Florida, and they're going to have a real shot at potentially winning it all this year, I think.
And if not them, then who? Honestly, I mean, you have you guys, and I mean, the Lightning aren't as potent as they've been recently. We've talked extensively on this podcast about how Washington and the Penguins have gotten a lot older. So I mean, I mean, it's time. Boston is looking a little weak. Showing a little bit of its cracks and everything like that. I think it's time for some new blood up on top in the East.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the East, the top 5 right now, you got the Panthers, you got the Bruins, the Rangers, the Hurricanes, and the Maple Leafs.
Fuck the Hurricanes.
Yeah. And then out west, Vancouver's up there. You don't know how for real they are. They're playing well in the regular season. I don't believe they're very proven playoff team yet. The Dallas Stars, another team, usually has trouble in the playoffs. The Winnipeg Jets are up there. But I saw an article the other day, a player in the NHL was talking about how the Winnipeg Jets are like the biggest frauds in the NHL, that they have a good record, but they're not as good as their record suggests. So who knows? And then you have the Avalanche and the Oilers.
Okay.
And then you have the Avalanche and the Oilers. So,
I mean, I wouldn't even be talking about Western Conference teams. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference teams you guys mentioned, and see if you can even get out of there. Can you even give me a non-biased opinion? I know that because the Rangers are on top on it.
Non-biased opinion as of right now, after what I saw just a couple of nights ago, I would have to say the Panthers.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one.
The Rangers put up a good fight. It was a close game. They lost on a couple of one questionable call, one questionable no call that led to a couple goals. But the second one, like that questionable no call, led to a goal that realistically should have been a save, because, what had happened is, I think Trocheck had the puck. It looked like he got tripped down or something. They didn't make a call. The Panthers came back the other way, and it was a one-on-one. It was a Panthers player. Trouba was right in front of him. The guy just kind of let a wrist shot go. It was a little floater from 40 feet away, and I'm, not sure exactly what happened, but for whatever reason, it just looked like Shesterkin never realized that the guy even shot the puck, because it went right past him into the net, and Shesterkin was just kind of sitting there like he was still looking to see where the puck was.
Yeah. Freeze framed.
It looked like he was just looking, like he didn't even realize the guy had taken a shot.
That's funny.
So it was one of those, outside of that 99 times out of 100, that's a save and not a goal. So, it was just one of those tough things. But the Panthers from a couple years ago that were just learning how to play defense, oh my God, can they play fucking defense this year? It's freaking scary that they can shut you down on defense and then turn around like that, and all of a sudden, the puck's in the back of the net before you have time to blink.
And I was actually about to just bring that up. That's an excellent point. Their defense is incredible. I mean, lockdown. We just recently played them, and it didn't matter how fast their younger guys were. I mean, they had an answer for everything. And then just to be able to turn it around like that, and I mean, you have Kachuk on the other end, who's playing.
Sam Reinhart, who's going to put up 50 goals this year.
Now you're adding Tarasenko, and I don't even think that that's going to mess up with what we talked about earlier with the chemistry and everything like that. I think Tarasenko is good enough where it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm agreeing with you that I think Florida has got to be like the favorite at this point. Carolina doesn't really, play with a lot of star power, and that's never been really their game. I get it and
Yeah.
everything, but it hasn't really worked yet since, right? They've gotten to the conference finals once, so let's see if they can do it again. But until then, I'm not really buying into it. I'm just kind of, Florida's got the star power. They've got the chemistry. They're getting hot at the right moment. They're bringing
Hmm.
in guys now. How can you argue against them?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like I said, obviously my biased opinion is I hope that the Rangers could make moves and get there and end up beating the ones to beat them. But yeah, if I have to take the step back and really look at it, I would say they have to be the Eastern Conference favorites right now.
Absolutely.
I did happen to see the Henrique trade because it was just a really big, complex freaking thing. I'm actually going to see if I can look that up and see the whole trade because it was crazy how like ridiculous this trade was. If I can find it, here we go.
A lot of
Okay,
intricate moving parts, right?
yeah, it was quite a few moving parts. So it was a 3-team trade between the Oilers, the Lightning, and the Ducks. So the Edmonton Oilers got Adam Henrique, Sam Carrick, 2 forwards, and a goaltender, Ty Taylor, plus a 7th-round pick for this year, 2024. The Tampa Bay Lightning get a 2025 conditional 4th-round pick. So whatever stipulation that could, I guess, end up turning into like a 3rd or a 2nd-round pick, whatever. And then the Ducks receive a straight-up 2024 first-round pick. I'm guessing probably from Edmonton, and a conditional 5th-round pick for 2025. So I'm
So the
guessing,
first round pick is definitely coming from Edmonton. It sounds like
yeah,
Tampa Bay was kind of only there for really kind of a salary
yeah,
situation or something,
most
maybe to
likely,
make things work.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, getting Adam Henry for a first round pick is honestly great value. I could
yeah,
see where it's working out for both teams. The Ducks are getting young. They need more talent and everything like that. A little bit more to get over the hump. And obviously for the Edmonton Oilers, how cool is it going to be to see Adam Henrique right next to Connor McDavid,
and Leon Draisaitl.
Draisaitl? Exactly. It's going to be magic. The best offense in the league just got even better.
So scrolling through the NHL's Instagram right now, I have another one that obviously kind of pertains to more so me because again of the Devils not being out of it. But the Philadelphia Flyers picked up Ryan Johansson from Colorado.
Okay.
So Ryan Johansson is a pretty good forward. So it looks like the Flyers are trying to make moves to make their playoff push.
Well, they've got the last spot in the Metropolitan Division as of this recording. The Devils are 8 points behind them,
Mm-hmm.
which I think, if not effectively puts us out, it definitely. I mean, it's mathematically very small right now, so it does make sense for them to be adding depth. As a Rangers fan, how are you feeling about the Flyers? Or is this a team that you got to really be worried about going in?
I mean, obviously you have to put some respect on all playoff teams. Obviously, they're there for a reason. So you always got to do your homework and whatnot. But as far as like true threats, I don't necessarily think the Flyers are there yet. I know they are building towards it. I think as of this year, they might be exceeding expectations a little bit with some help with the fact that like outside of the top 3 teams of the Rangers, the Hurricanes, and the Flyers in the Metro Division right now, the rest of the division's kind of been shit this year.
Members of that division, I know it's fine. Talk your shit.
But just looking at it, because the Rangers are sitting with 84 points, the Hurricanes got 78, Flyers have 72, and it drops off a little bit to the Islanders with 68. The Washington 65, Pittsburgh 64, Devils 64. Like all teams in the past, like, outside of this year, within the past like 5 years, the Metropolitan Division has probably been like one of the like tightest, most highly contested division in the NHL,
For a
being that
couple of
pretty much,
years now, for
yeah,
sure.
meaning that like everybody outside of the Columbus Blue Jackets has all been like pretty damn close to playoff spots like every single year for the past
Absolutely.
4 years. Whereas this year it's kind of those top three and everybody else is kind of falling off a little bit.
With Washington and Pittsburgh falling off, it does
Yeah.
feel like it's a little bit more top heavy at this point. Us not being, I can't fathom, I can't wrap my head around how we were the preseason number one team, and then just like the depths of to which we sunk, man. I know it's been injuries, I know it's been coaching, and I know we need defense and goaltenders, but I just don't understand how we didn't see all of this coming in. How did nobody see this coming in? Because it's not even just like, me, I'm the most optimistic Devils fan in the world. We're gonna win the Stanley Cup championship every single year if you ask me. But like nobody else saw this coming, man. I mean, just it's a rough one. It's a
Yeah.
rough one. It's a hard year to deal with. It really tests you as a fan.
Yeah, it's tough though because you never really can tell with anybody like even star players could out of nowhere have a down season sometime. You just never you never know.
Mm.
And it just sucks to be on that end of like things looked really good, you had pieces in place, and then all of a sudden injuries hit. All of a sudden those couple of goaltenders that showed some promise, especially in the playoffs last year,
Did
for
not show.
whatever reason couldn't find it this year.
It was definitely an injury thing, to be sure. I think if like I had to point to an absolute number one thing that completely derailed our season, it would be the injury of Dougie Hamilton. He was kind of
Yeah,
our
that's a big one.
quarterback.
He's an amazing two-way defenseman.
Yeah, he was our quarterback. He set up plays in the offense, and exactly
Yeah.
right. He was just as good on defense. So yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely the number one thing that derailed our season. Much like another New York team, honestly, the New York Knicks aren't looking too good either,
Oh
bro.
yeah, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries too, right? I think
Yeah,
Brunson's down.
Bronson might be on his way back. Don't quote me on that, but OG Anunoby,
Is
Julius Randle, I'm sorry, and Mitchell Robinson are nowhere to be found, and they don't know when they're coming back, man.
Well, Mitchell Robinson, I think I remember seeing he had like surgery or something and was done for the season.
Oh, is he? So he's done,
Yeah,
done. He's not coming
yeah.
back. Okay. I mean, but even so, if you get Randall back and Brunson back,
And
and it's
then,
only in March,
yeah,
but at the same time, it's like, a lot of people, Knicks fans that I've been talking to and everything like that, they're saying, well, how can you, I mean, it's injuries and everything. How can you blame anybody on this season? And we started off so high, and when everybody's playing good, they're great. And then we just got injured. One thing that I think differentiates this from the New Jersey Devils, you have Thibodeau. And
yeah.
how long are we going to sit here and talk about it until it's just like dead on staring us in the face? We have years and years and years of tape on this guy. Even a casual NBA fan knows that working for Thibodeau is extremely taxing on the body. There are a lot of injuries that always pile up. He works you really long minutes for really long amounts of time. Doesn't really give you breaks on back-to-backs. He killed Derrick Rose. I mean, Julius Randle's been injured for the past couple of years now. Now the whole Knicks team is injured. Knicks fans don't want to blame the coach. They say, well, how can he provide? How could he honestly make us any better? Well, I mean, how many Thibodeau teams are we going to watch get injured in March so that nobody's there to play in April until we realize, maybe it's his fault.
A lot of people, I don't think, want to, obviously blame him for what happened to Derrick Rose. That seemed like more of just like a very unfortunate thing. But, from what you're saying, like if he's working these guys as hard as, you say, and, he has always been like a very heavy, like we need to play extremely tough defense, type of coach, that does put a lot of toll on the body, even for these athletes that are in such great shape and whatnot. There's only so much the human body can take before it is going to break down.
I mean, we saw this on the Bulls, and Randall didn't have any injury problems until Thibodeau started coaching on the Knicks. So, and now all of a sudden, Randall is all of a sudden injury prone. Like, where is this? Like, it's only causation and correlation. I mean, how many times do we have to point at the same guy before we realize, all right, maybe this dude's got to either lighten up or maybe he's just not the right fit. Because they're wasting talent at this point now, and that's the thing about the Knicks. You could fuck around with coaches and talent and everything like that because you weren't going anywhere. Now this might be the best Knicks team since Patrick Ewing when they're all healthy.
Yeah,
you're wasting that now.
And even Anunoby, like I know he's young, he hasn't been in the league a long time, but
I haven't seen Anunoby since the trade. And I've been watching a lot of Knicks basketball, man.
Like I don't think that dude was ever injured in Detroit or in Toronto when he was there.
No, it never. I mean, I don't know if he was ever injured. I don't want to put that on him because it's a long season. A lot of guys get injured for a lot of stupid things, but he was never known as injury prone. That's for certain. And I haven't seen him since the trade. I'm sure he has played games since then. Again, I don't watch every Knicks game, but I've seen enough to know that he has not been on the court for quite some time.
Yeah, let's just see. I'm gonna take a look here. Since he came into the league in 2017. He played 74 games, 67 games, 69 games, 43, but that was 2020, 2021, so that was the lockout year, so that might be a little fluky one. And then 21, 22, he only played 48 games. Not sure what the reason with that would have been. And then 22, 23, he played 67.
Yeah.
So like it definitely
22 was the COVID year.
Yeah. So it definitely doesn't really seem like he's been an injury prone type of player, throughout his career.
Until magically he starts playing for Thibodeau, and then
and now he's out with an elbow injury and expected to miss 3 weeks. I saw. I don't know when the report was from, if that was like a little older, but
they don't have a timeline. They don't have a timeline on him as of today. Like when I was researching the team. They don't have a timeline on him. They do not have a timeline on Randall. I'm assuming they don't say that it's bad, but I think that they're trying to go more towards we're saving them for the playoffs. We're trying to get them healthy so that we can make a push and everything. But then even at the same time, what kind of condition are these guys going to be in when they get back?
Yeah. There's only so much they can do in practice and cardio and stuff. Like you got to get back into game shape.
Yeah.
Like in shape and in professional game shape are two very different things.
It's the age-old rust versus rest problem. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I mean, it's been killing the Clippers for years with fucking Kawhi Leonard. With his
as far as New York sports go, unfortunately, it looks like the only thing that we might have to be rooting for or looking forward to is you guys right now. I mean, it's just not looking good any other way that you slice it,
Yeah.
Knicks are really badly injured and not making it. The Devils just fired their head coach, really badly injured. They're probably not going to make it. I'm not saying the Knicks aren't going to make the playoffs, by the way. I'm just saying I don't have to see them really getting past the second round.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the only one with really any hype are the New York Rangers. I mean, we could talk about my Giants and everything like that if you really want to. If you want to talk about another dumpster fire.
We got some time before we can start talking about the NFL draft.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I mean, we did not put the tag on Barkley. He's looking.
I did see that. Yeah,
moving on and everything like that. There are also a lot of rumors, and I want to emphasize that because this is all like this month and the next month up until leading until the draft is going to be is just people spouting shit.
Yeah.
Making rumors. Yeah, exactly. So but the heaviest rumor that we've had so far is that the Giants want to trade up.
Really?
Yeah, we're really looking hard to trade up. And if we are looking hard to trade up, writing's kind of on the wall. Definitely looks like we're moving on from good old DJ. Danny Dimes, Daniel
Mm.
Jones, Vanilla Vic.
But what are they gonna do with him though? He he's got such a big contract they can't cut
So it's
him.
only for 2 years. So
Was it?
it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be almost impossible to move his money around this year. Next year it becomes a little bit easier, still extremely difficult. After that, I believe either that or the year after that. I know it's only a 2 or 3 year contract. It's not
I thought
forever.
it was
We
a
did not
5
lock
year.
him down long term.
For some reason, why did I think it was a 5 year contract?
Oh no. No, 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 no. There would be Giants fans rioting in the streets if we signed that dude for 5 years, especially
It
after
was
only
only
one
a
good
2 year
year.
contract. It was okay, so it was just the fact that they gave him like $40 million a season was the big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sick of I really don't want to hate on Daniel Jones either. You know, I'm sick of all the guys that are hating on Daniel Jones, saying replace him, everything like that. He is not a great quarterback. He is not a quarterback that is ever going to win you a game just by himself, just off of his talent. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine because you want to know why? There's only like 3 quarterbacks in the league that
That
can
can do
do.
that. Yeah,
You know, I think that if you built around Danny Jones, if you found maybe move into a pistol offense a little bit, because yeah, he's white and he looks dumb and everything like that, but man, that dude can move.
he
There's a
can run.
reason
Yeah.
why. There's a reason why license plate guy calls him Vanilla Vic. Like the dude can move. You know, if you put him in a pistol offense with a fast guy like Aaron Gray, who we have backing up Saquon Barkley right now, who looks like he's going to be our option at running back if we want to go cheap. He produced some decent numbers last year. He's a lot faster than Barkley, although he can't obviously hit as hard or be as productive
Mm-hmm.
as him. He does have a little bit more speed and a little bit more reliable hands on receiving. So if we can work a pistol situation with him and build a really great defense, why couldn't we push a deep playoff run with Daniel Jones? You know?
I mean,
So
all they need is an offensive line and some actual receivers.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if they put position players around Daniel Jones and worked a formation for him, an offensive scheme that would utilize the admittedly very few talents that he does have, I don't see why you can't. I mean, Baker Mayfield just went to the playoffs, so everybody was
Yeah,
about to
this
give
is
up on
true.
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody was about to give up on him last year. He just went to the playoffs.
this is true.
What's his face? Gardner Minshew, Mustache Mountain, just went to the Pro Bowl. He's in the Pro Bowl. Okay, don't tell me you can't build around an average quarterback. You know?
Good old Minshew mania.
Yeah, don't tell me you can't build around an average quarterback. I don't want to hear it.
You
We didn't
can.
try. We didn't try.
So there's something I want to do now. Because I know we usually do the hoop grids, but I looked at it and I don't want to do this one.
Okay.
So there's something else that a friend of mine in one of my group chats that I had showed us a couple nights ago. And you might hate me for this. I'm not going to lie. You might hate me for this one, but it's another game that has just recently appeared on, I think it started on TikTok.
Okay.
And it's honestly, it's a fucking pain in the ass, I'll tell you that. But we're going to give it a shot. Welcome to Lay Connections. The way this works, find
for our viewers, please,
4 NBA players that share a similarity. For example, 7'3" or taller, all-stars that have played with LeBron James, yada, yada, yada. Select the 4 players, tap submit. If your guess is correct, you have 4 chances to get the right groups. Each group is associated with a color. This little yellow is the easiest, orange is medium, red is hard, black is the hardest one to find. Usually
Okay.
one. So we have a grid of players. We can see their faces or we can see their names, and we have to find the groups of 4, which 4 players fit together in, and literally some of these categories are ridiculous. Like, I don't know if I go to yesterday. Yeah. So this was yesterday's. I did not finish this. This was just the results. The categories were started for the Western Conference All-Stars, players turned NBA coaches, has brother also in the NBA, and most career technical fouls were the 4
Has
categories.
a brother also in the NBA?
Like,
what?
these categories are ridiculous.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Right off the bat. Wait. Kobe Bryant,
Okay.
DeAndre Jordan, Kawhi
Uh,
Leonard, Brooke Lopez.
wait, DeAndre. Where's DeAndre?
DeAndre Jordan's right next to Kobe Bryant, isn't he? Isn't that
No,
DeAndre Jordan?
that is Marcus Morris.
Marcus Morris. Wait, that might even work. Okay, so hold on. So Kobe Bryant, Marcus Morris, Andre Drummond, Brooke Lopez, guys that played in LA.
I mean, you also have LeBron James
Yeah.
played in LA. Chris Paul played in LA.
So
Paul
wait, none of the other guys can have played in LA?
Well, I mean, they could. All right, let's give it a shot. Probably not, but nope.
No, okay, I was an idiot.
No. Like I said, some of these are like they're quite freaking ridiculous.
Oh, so the rows aren't necessarily. I understand the rows.
No, yeah,
I
I can shuffle them if we really want to.
Okay.
But it's like who's that guy
Okay.
up there? Rudy Gay up in the corner here. Jalen Green over here. Miles Turner, Vucevic, Yao Ming.
What about Yao Ming, Vucevic, Brooke Lopez, and Andre Drummond? They got to do something together, right? They're all centers.
Yeah, maybe. We can try. Nope.
Mwah.
It says one away though. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay. So we're on to something. We're
so
on to
we're
something.
on to something there. It's just who do we take out and who do we put in? What could three of these guys have in common?
Okay, so Vooch is Yao Ming was a guy that just stood under the basket and collected rebounds, right? Because he was that tall.
Yeah.
So we could be dealing with most rebounds, but Brooke Lopez and Vucevic. Vucevic was known for getting a lot of double doubles in Orlando, so it could be something about rebounds. I don't really know if Brooke Lopez is known for his
No,
rebound.
he's not a rebound guy at
Yeah,
all.
as much as it is for offense. And then Andre Drummond is almost a purely defensive center.
Yeah, pretty much.
So maybe if we take out Brooke Lopez,
And put in Miles Turner? Because
for
he's the only
rebound,
other center on this list.
he would be a decent. I mean, if it's going off of rebounds, that would make more sense.
Maybe? No.
Yeah, man.
And it still says one away.
Okay, so we got these three right. So we know it's not Brooke Lopez. We know it's not Miles Turner.
Yeah.
These three are right.
So yeah, I guess maybe we do know it's these three. So then what else could this be? Maybe something about like when they were drafted?
No, because Yao Ming and Andre Drummond are not anywhere near the same draft class.
No, I mean like the pick that they were drafted. That could literally
that could be something too.
Were they drafted like number like 13 overall or something like that?
Yeah, but we have a lot of high draft picks up here. You know, I don't think it has anything to do with being a high draft pick.
Yeah.
Because I know Vooch and Drummond. Well, I don't even think Drummond was a high draft pick. That could be it. Maybe it could be like lottery picks, really productive lottery picks.
I don't know.
Throw Rudy Gay in there, see what happens.
Rudy Gay, all right.
Damn.
No. Nice try. No, that's not it.
Current centers.
Oh.
Whoa.
So we had the wrong one.
Most worn signature shoe, I would have not gotten.
No.
Anyway.
Drafted by the Rockets. That one, I probably wouldn't have guessed those two.
Most career steals, I don't know.
That one, that one, if we had gotten down to it, I could have potentially thought about something like that. But
when I think of Michael Jordan, I'm not thinking steals. But I guess it makes sense that he would lead in almost every single category, right? He is Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That's because I'm gonna keep this in, even though we didn't make this, because this is a really interesting thing. I wonder if we could keep doing this and just see when
we definitely could, yeah. See how we progress and get better.
Current centers, that's so easy.
That should have been so easy, but it's like the categories could literally be like anything. You just don't know what to think about.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I honestly like this better than the grid a little bit.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Good suggestion by whoever that was.
That would be my old co-host from the Water Boys, Nick Eubank.
Shout out Nick Eubank.
Dude,
Shout out the
fine.
War Boys.
All
And
this.
shout out,
And the thing is, he's good at this. Like, he just knows that much about the NBA. Like, he figures this kind of stuff out. Like, I don't know how he does it.
well, shout out the War Boys and your old podcast.
Yeah.
Shout out Nick Eubank. I don't know what he's doing nowadays, but if he's on
Working a lot. That was the reason we had to stop, because he got a new job and he didn't have time to do it anymore, unfortunately.
fair enough.
I mean, good for him on getting the new job and all, but
Hey, I'm into that. That's what it's all about, making money, right?
yep.
So you want to send us off on anything? You got anything else to add, maybe? We got any more news we got to cover?
I mean, not quite yet. I feel like next week could be a good week to cover some more MLB spring training and stuff as we're getting closer.
We didn't talk any of the spring training games, and the Mets have been doing really good.
Yeah, the Mets have been doing really well. Tyler McGill looks pretty good. I know they're going to be relying on him with Senga out. I think his first start he struggled a little bit, but after that he's kind of locked it down so far.
Senga also, they're saying all the right things about Senga, how it's not, once again, like we said from last podcast, it's not a serious injury. We're just taking as much time as we possibly can so that we could get this guy back and healthy for the rest of the season. So I'm fine with that. You take as long as you want. We're in spring training right now, and even the first month of the season, I mean, honestly, what's that really going to mean?
Yeah, not too much,
Exactly.
But, some other good news for the Mets. Luis Severino in his first start looked pretty damn good. He only got one strikeout, but that one strikeout, he dialed the fastball up to 98 miles an hour.
2 innings pitched and 1 runs. That's what we need to see.
I feel like that's a good sign.
Let's go Mets.
But yeah, some good things happening. I think next week we can cover that a little bit more. We'll be, past the trade deadline for the NHL next time we talk, so we can kind of see how things shake out with that.
For the Rangers, I don't really think there's honestly going to be much more Devils talk going forward. Yeah. I don't want to be like a grumpy Patty. Nobody wants to listen to me cry about the Devils, and there's not really going to be much more news. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know if this is last check-in on the Devils, but it's getting where our days are numbered. Yeah. I'll tell you.
Yeah, they got a lot of good young talent though, so hopefully they can figure things out and
we'll be back next year. No worries.
Together.
We'll be back next year.
We'll see about that.
All right, buddy. Well, I'll do the plug this time. As always, thank you so much, guys, for watching. To those of you that did, please like and subscribe. The things are going to be up here. Our handles are down here. We post usually once a week. Thanks so much for listening, and we will check you guys next week.
Yes, sir.